Uh, Hello. You are now watching my Resident Evil movie casting for the first movie. With the end of the current Resident Evil film franchise finished, I feel like it would be a good idea to reboot the entire Resident Evil film franchise, but instead of having Alice as the main protagonist and having made up stories, we take more inspiration from the games in which they're based on. So I thought it would be a fun idea to do what my ideal casting for the first Resident Evil movie would be. This movie will be very firmly based upon the first Resident Evil game, and I thought of all the characters that I can remember, and I have cast them for you. So, starting off with probably the main character in Resident Evil 1 will be Chris Redfield, and I have got him down as being played by Doug Johnson. I think that Doug Johnson would make an incredible Chris Redfield. They're both very tall and muscular men. He fits the part well, and uh, he is big in movies now. So a lot of the casual audiences will want to come see this because Resident Evil isn't a very popular franchise within casual audiences. Not many people have really heard of it. So if we get Doug Johnson on board to play as Chris Redfield, a lot of people will go and see it for him and perhaps learn a little bit about Resident Evil while they're there. For Jill Valentine, I have decided to cast Melissa McCarthy. She is a really funny actress who would be very good in this type of film, which I've decided which should be a action comedy. I can't remember the action comedy that Melissa McCarthy has already been in, but she played a spy and it was a very good movie, and I think that going forward in this franchise, which should be over 7 movies long, Jill Valentine would be a key member because she features in quite a few of the games. Melissa McCarthy would do a very good job playing Jill Valentine. Next up, we have Rebecca Chambers. I wasn't 100% sure who to cast for Rebecca Chambers, but ultimately I decided to go with Rihanna. She was very, very good in Battleship, which is a very underappreciated movie. I very much enjoyed it when I saw it in the cinema, and Rihanna certainly took the spotlight from that film. I've not really seen her in too many more films since then, but I think that Rihanna would be a very good Rebecca for this film. Next up, we have everyone's favourite character from Resident Evil 1, which would be Barry Burton, often criticised for his poor acting in the first game. I believe that this should be a very good comedy relief character, and I've decided to go with one of the funniest comedians in movies, Will Ferrell. It helps that Will Ferrell already kind of looks like Barry because they both have that red hair, and to be honest, I couldn't think of many actors with that red hair that is also very funny. So Will Ferrell checks both those boxes. He should be the next Barry Burton. Next up, we have Albert Wesker, one of my favourite characters in the entirety of the Resident Evil world. And I think that for this movie, we should try and be a little bit different and be very shocking to modern audiences. For Albert Wesker, I have decided to cast Warwick Davis. Hollywood right now is doing very, very well with diverse casting. We are getting a lot of people of colour now and women in major roles, but I have still yet to see very many dwarves take centre stage of many Hollywood films, and Warwick Davis, I think, would be fantastic in the role of Albert Wesker. He's a very good actor. He was very good in Star Wars Rogue One and other Star Wars movies. I think he was in Harry Potter as well, and he was very good in that. So I think it's about time that Warwick Davis got a proper role in a Hollywood movie, and I would like to see him try to play a villain, because I don't believe I've seen him play a villain before. And next we have Brad Vickers. He won't be in the movie very much, but I have decided to cast one of my favourite actors, and that would be Eddie Murphy. I think Eddie Murphy would bring a lot of laughs to this film for the short time that he would be in it. So Eddie Murphy would be the perfect casting choice for Brad Vickers for me. The rest of the casting are characters that aren't in the movie for very long. So really anyone can play these characters, but I've come up with a few suggestions. For Enrico Marini, I have went for Vince Vaughn, another very good actor, good in serious roles and comedic roles. So Vince Vaughn for Enrico Marini. For Forrest Speyer, he was the man that was killed by a crow. I would go with John Leguizamo, but really it could be anyone. For Richard Aitken, I went for a very good English actor, Adrian Edmondson. And finally, for Joseph Frost, I couldn't really think of anyone that would be perfect for the role, so anyone for this one would do as well. If you disagree with any of my casting options, let me know in the comments. Tell me who you believe should be cast for all these individual characters, and let me know who you think should be cast for characters in future Resident Evil movies, because I will go through all of the main series games and cast them for a movie. Thank you for watching,